What's up guys, welcome back. So based off of feedback from the last few videos, longer flows seem to be quite popular, so we're going to do another one of them today. All you'll need is a resistance band. It doesn't have to be a really heavy one, just light to medium would be great. And if you don't have one, that's okay. You don't really need one, but it will add something. So if you've got one, go get it. We're going to start seated on our mats with your feet out in front of you at hip distance apart and hands underneath your knees, rolling your shoulders down and back. We'll be starting with a little bit of ab work here. So we're bringing your belly button in, thinking of sending your ribs down towards your hips, and I want you to just notice the gap that you've got between your ribs and your hips where you are. Now when we're in this position, our toes are heavy on the floor, so as you start to lean back, I don't want your toes to come up off of the mat. So if need be, you can bring your feet a little bit closer to your body, just so that your toes aren't tempted to lift away from the floor. So you're looking straight out ahead of you. Tuck your chin just slightly, like you were holding something underneath your chin here. We're going to inhale as we roll back, sitting off of our sit bones, coming onto the fleshy portion of bottom, just above those sit bones. We hold. Now our arms here are just here for support. They're not doing any of the work. We do have them there if you need. As you exhale, we're going to tuck your chin, draw your belly in, keep that connection ribs to hips as we bring ourselves back up. So that was a breathe in on our way down and a breathe out as we come up. We inhale down. Again, toes are staying heavy here. Your knees are staying at hip distance apart, so don't let them roll in and out. We breathe in and we gently just let your gaze drop as you breathe out. So in general, our body will go where your gaze goes. So as you breathe out, just drop your gaze towards your inner thighs. And that's going to align your posture naturally as you come back up. Good. Keep those fingers relaxed. Let's go here for another 8. Tummy drawing in. 7. Breathing in as you lower back. Breathing out as you draw back up. Let's go for 5. 4. Good. Keep 10 toes just heavy into the mat for 3. And we keep 10 fingers really nice and light so they're not doing any of the work for 2. For 1, we're going to reach those hands out nice and long. Let's do that again. So we inhale and we exhale, tuck your chin. We inhale back, long arms. As you exhale, your hands are going to dip down just past your knees to come back up. We breathe in. I want you to think about your core leading here, not your hip flexors. So we leave those legs nice and soft, nice and still, gentle and relaxed. And we let our core support us in this position for another 8. 7, you should be breathing in through your nose. 6, we're keeping your face nice and soft. 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to hold down on this last one, really pull the tummy in, and let's just bounce here. And we're going to breathe as we bounce. You should still have that same distance from your ribs to your hips. Our 10 toes are still heavy, and we're bouncing right at your base. So it might be a bit different for you. Maybe you're lower than me, maybe you're not quite as low. Just find that edge where you can keep your control. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, thinking flat core, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to tuck the chin, draw all the way up. Lovely. Scoot yourself down on your mat just a little bit lower, and we'll nice and slow roll all the way down onto the floor. Beautiful. So just positioning yourself now. Feet are at hip distance apart, 10 toes pointing away from you. Arms are relaxed down by our sides. We want your palms to be flat onto the floor here, and you're looking with your gaze just straight up to the ceiling. Bring your belly button in towards your spine. Now I want you to have your natural curve through your back here. So you should have a little bit of space underneath your mid-back, maybe about a hand width space there. And just as I said before, those knees are staying at hip distance apart, so we're not having our knees touching or the knees out wide. They're just nice and parallel, pointing up towards the ceiling. Big inhale breath. Press 10 fingers down, press 10 toes down, and drop your shoulders back. We relax the face. Another inhale breath here. On your natural exhale breath, no need to rush it, let's tuck the tailbone. Press your heels into the floor, keep those 10 toes grounded. I want you to slowly, slowly roll up. Feel that rib to hip connection. Peeling up the spine, one bone at a time, until we have a nice long line from your shoulders up to your knees, so your weight should be heavy across the shoulder girdle here. We're going to inhale at the top, finding that combination between our core and squeezing the bottom. And as we exhale again, let's roll all the way back and down again, bone by bone. So the tailbone stays tucked until the very end of this movement. We inhale on the floor. Exhale, tuck and lift. Squeeze the sides of your bottom. Press your heels into the floor. We hold at the top. We inhale. We exhale to roll back down again. And we're just going to keep going with this pattern. So you'll notice it's always that we move on the exhale breath. We hold for that inhale at each end. And as we're lifting here, it's not about lifting up as high as you can. Instead, it's about really working into the hamstrings and the glutes and letting our core support our lower back. So I want you to think, rather than lifting your hips up as high as you can, we're finding that nice straight diagonal by keeping the tailbone tucked. So we don't want to end up in this position with our back arched, our belly sticking out and your bum dropped. You want to tuck that tailbone, draw the tummy in. Think about sending your knees away from you. So we find a length along the front of your thighs. We exhale down. If you watch your knees next time, make sure they're staying at the same distance apart the whole way up. As we inhale, and the whole way back down again as we exhale. Let's go for 5 more like this. I want you to really think about pressing down through those 10 toes, as I said. So making sure your big toe is still pressed into the floor here. We're not rolling onto the sides of our feet. Let's go for 4 more. Really articulate through the spine. So almost feel like you're exaggerating that movement of bone by bone. You can imagine I have my hand underneath your back as you're rolling down through the spine. You don't want to crush my fingers, so you have to make sure you're going one bone at a time for our final 3. Squeezing the bum as much as you can. Let's go for 2. On this next one, you're going to hold at the top. So we'll come up on your exhale breath. We're still not rushing, and we're going to hold here. Good, so we found that connection between our core and our glutes. You're squeezing your bum like crazy, pressing those heels into the floor. Now I want you to think about that squeeze through your bottom. So at the moment, you're holding on as tight as you can. Let's inhale and just relax those glutes. Notice my bum drops just slightly. My tailbone almost untucks here. Core is still working. We're going to exhale to squeeze through the bottom, finding that nice straight line again. So as you inhale, your bottom will just drop as it relaxes, coming down maybe a quarter way, maybe halfway. Exhale, we squeeze to lift up. That distance between our knees hasn't changed. In fact, nothing has changed here, except for the relax and the squeeze of your bottom. Good, exhale, squeeze. Inhale, relax. Good, let's go for another 10. And remember, we are moving with that slow control, so we're going to get that nice slow burn here that'll last the next couple of days by moving with your breath. Exhale up. This is number 4 of 10. 5, keep tummy pulling in. So if you were to keep your fingers on your ribs and your hips, that gap hasn't changed. And as you lift up, you can start to squeeze your inner thighs as well here. And we should be starting to feel right where your bottom and your thighs meet. We've got 3 to go. Inhale down. Both hips are dropping at once. That's important. We don't let one side drop before the other. 2. Let's hold up on 1. 1. We're going to press your toes into the floor now, lifting both heels. So now I want you to be squeezing your bum like crazy. We lower the heels until just before they touch the mat. Don't let them drop down. And we exhale, lift. Inhale, drop till just before they touch. Exhale, lift. Inhale, drop, and lift. So again, we're only isolating one part of the body, and that's the part that we're moving. Press your big toe in. We don't roll off those feet. Keep your tailbone tucked. Keep your tummy pulling in. We keep the upper body soft. You can be pressing your hands down into the floor for a little bit of extra support here if you need. I want you to think and imagine you are holding something between your knees. So you're not going to let them go wide. We need to keep holding that mystery item between the legs. Let's go for another 10, 9, 8, tummy pulls in, 7, squeezing the bum, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to press both heels into the floor. We inhale, relax the bum, it drops to halfway. We exhale, squeeze it up. Just like before, I want you to lock those legs hip distance apart. We inhale, exhale, lift. Let's go for 10 more like this. Find that diagonal line. Tuck the tailbone each time you lift. This is 4, 5. Now we're starting to get warm. 6, 7, 8, 9, holding up on 10. Let's go heel lifts here for 10. Don't let those heels touch. 9, 8. If they are touching, it's just the tiniest amount. It's a feather touch before we lift up again. 5, 4, both at once. 3, 2, holding up on 1. We're going to drop your right heel down and lift. Left heel down and lift. So we're alternating sides. If you need to, you can draw your feet slightly more close towards your body, just for a bit of extra balance there. Good, keep squeezing your bottom. If you do start to feel your lower back here, relax, reset, and join back in when you're ready. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, tummy pulls in, 6, 5, don't relax that bum just yet, 3, 2, 1, let's press both heels down, we hold, press your big toe into the floor, pull the belly in, and we roll, bone by bone, down onto the mat. And when you reach the floor, just let both knees go to one side, and then let both knees go over to the other side. Wonderful. We can come back into center, bring both of those legs up into your chest, take hold of your feet if you can, soles of feet together, a little bit of a rock from side to side here. Beautiful. And then we'll pop our feet back down onto the floor. Now you're going to bring your hands up so they're reaching straight up towards the ceiling here, palms face in, belly button reaches down for your spine. And again, we're in our natural spine here, so you may have some space underneath your back, and if you do, we want to keep it there. We're going to inhale, bringing your hands, fingers widespread, up above the head. Just have to move down a little bit. Up above the head until they touch the floor above you. As you exhale, we'll bring those hands straight back up above shoulder height. Thinking about what's happening through your belly here, we inhale to reach. We exhale, drawing back up. I want you to use one hand, take your thumb onto your rib cage and your finger, whatever finger can reach down onto your hips, and just go with one side at a time for your next 4 or 5. And as you're going here, I want to make sure that your ribs and hips are not disconnecting. So if my ribs were to disconnect from my hip, as I reached up above my head, my ribs would flare out of my chest, the space underneath my spine would increase. I get this big curve through my back. I don't want that, so I'm keeping that connection between my ribs and my hips. As I draw the hands above head, belly button comes in, and we're making sure we're just maintaining that small amount of space. Good. We're going to go for 4 more. Thinking of your widest and your flattest core. It's these really small movements where we start to set the muscles before we get into those heavier movements that can make all the difference to your form. So remembering that little connection as we go. Last one. Beautiful. We're going to bring this to the other side of our pendulum drop. So we're going to keep those hands facing in towards one another. Again, fingers are widespread here. We inhale, tuck your chin just slightly, keeping the back of your neck nice and long. Imagine you are holding an apple underneath your chin. As you exhale, we're going to lift our tips of our shoulders off of the mat, reaching down just beyond your thighs. Fingers are long. Tummy draws in. We found that connection. We hold it there. And we inhale, coming back. So it's an exhale as we draw up. And an inhale, coming back and down. Now if your neck ever gets sore, or you've had previous neck pain, neck problems, taking one hand just behind your head here and allowing your arm to work a little bit to support the head. So we're not dragging the head up here. We want the movement to come from the core, and your head will just naturally float up with that movement. We don't lead with the neck. Good. We exhale up. We inhale down, keeping that same pattern of breath out through the mouth, in through the nose. Let's go for another 5. For 4. For 3, keeping shoulders away from your ears. 2. On 1, we're going to reach the hands underneath the head, keeping that head floating here. So again, with our head lifted up off of the floor, I want you to draw your shoulders away from your ears. Your elbows should be visible in the corners of your eyes. And we're going to bring those feet just a little bit closer to your body. Belly button is reaching in. Let your head become heavy here. I want you to close your eyes. Just take a deep breath where you really let your hands and arms start to do some of the work to hold the weight of your head. Relax the face. We're going to inhale until your gaze is looking straight up above you. And as we exhale, we'll draw the belly in, shorten that gap between ribs and hips, lift the tips of shoulders. So we inhale down, we exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. We've got another 10. Work with your speed of breath here. 9. Keeping that space underneath your spine. So if you've found space under your spine, we want to keep it. If you feel that you're continuously lifting and lowering your spine as you go, I just want you to come into your imprint, so into your flat spine instead, and try to maintain that flattened spine. Otherwise, we're keeping our neutral here. So tailbone is heavy, and we're letting our deeper abdominal muscles support us. For 5, shoulders away from ears. For 4, For 3, we exhale up. Big inhale back. For 2, we're not resting our head between each of these. Remember, we're coming back until just when your gaze hits the ceiling. Last one. Dropping back, gaze hits the ceiling. Let's lift that left leg into tabletop. We inhale here. Exhale, we lift. You're going to extend that left leg out straight as you lift up. We inhale to bend the knee, rest the head back. Exhale, reach and lift. Inhale down. Now this movement is all through the lower belly, all the way down till just above your pubic bone and up to just underneath the rib cage. So we've found that nice deep activation into the core. Point your toes. We exhale, inhale back. Head is heavy. Arms are working to support us here. For our final 5, 4, 3. Beautiful. Let's go 2 more. Last one. As we come down, we'll rest that left leg. We're going to lift the right. Let's do the same on this side. So we exhale, curl and reach. We inhale back. Good. Keep breathing your way up. Elbows just visible in the corners of your eyes. For 5, 4. Doesn't have to be rushed here, so we can take it slow. 2. On 1, we're going to hold at the top. Let's lengthen that right leg. Bring your left leg down to match, pointing the toes. Now we're holding up nice and high. Tips of shoulders are off of the floor. Let's lower down 10%. Lift all the way up. Down 10%. All the way up. We're working right into that top band just underneath your ribs. Now I don't want your arms to be pulling your head up. We let our core do the work. Our hands are just here to support your neck so that your neck can relax. So the head stays heavy. Point those toes. Thighs are active for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Find that quiver through the core. 2, 1. And we can rest all the way back. Let your arms come down by your sides. Roll those shoulders back into the floor. Take hands up overhead. Big inhale breath. As you exhale, we're going to flex the feet. Bring your hands by your ears. Tuck your chin. Lifting up off of the mat. We roll our way all the way up and over, reaching for those toes. Let your spine lengthen here as you reach. We inhale. And we're going to exhale to roll all the way back down. Now you can play around with pointed versus flexed feet here. Go with what feels better. We inhale as you're reaching, fingers to toes. We exhale to tuck and roll all the way up. Beautiful. Now if this feels a little bit too strong and you can't make it all the way up, that is completely fine. I want you to just think about that slow speed, rolling up to where you can and then roll back down. So we want to keep the control of the movement here. We go slowly as we roll our way up and over, and we go nice and slow as we roll our way back down. Good. Let's go for another 6 just like this. Exhale up. Each time we reach, we can get a little bit further into that forward stretch. We're lengthening and strengthening all at once. Exhale, 5. Exhale back. So we inhale at the ends. Inhale in that stretch. That's what we're doing. We've got 3 to go here. We exhale up. As you come into that forward fold stretch, imagine someone is just gently reaching your hands forward a little bit more. So you've just got that little bit of assistance there in drawing forward, reaching over those toes. Beautiful. We'll go for one more here. So we're going to gently reach ourselves up and over, and this time you can take hold of your feet, knees, ankles, whatever you can hold on to, and just let yourself fall forward into that stretch, and just move between pointing and flexing feet, keeping tummy drawn in. Beautiful. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's reach both hands up. I want you to be sitting with your shoulders drawn down and back, flexing your feet. We're making a big L shape out of your whole body here. Big breath in and out. Taking hands down by your sides. Now we'll grab hold of that band. So if you've got a loop band, that's great. You can just loop it over your upper arms here. If you don't have a loop band, then that's okay too. Just tie your resistance band in a knot and bring it up so that it's up above your elbows. We're going to have your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips, and we're looking down at the floor. Bring your shoulders away from your ears here. Belly button reaches in. As you inhale, I want you to draw your body forward over that band towards the floor. As we exhale, we're going to press our fingers into the floor, coming back up. So this band is just reminding us to keep the elbows narrow here, and it's giving our chest a little bit of support as we come down and back up. Good. So now I just want you to work down and up as far as you can. It doesn't have to be too far. Keeping the control and the rhythm to the movement. So we inhale down, we exhale up. We don't want to stick your bottom out here, so we just find control. Let's go for another 6. 5. 4. Fingers as well as heels of hands. 3. 2. Let's go one more. Exhale up. Beautiful. Let that band drop down so that it's just beneath your elbows instead. We're going to have forearms on the floor. Lovely. So I want you to be pulling against that band just slightly to find some resistance there. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Knees we're going to draw in a little bit closer together now. Belly button reaches in towards your spine. So we're going to be leaning forward here as we inhale, like you're going to kiss the floor. And as you exhale, we'll gently press all the way away. We've done this in a couple of my videos now. So it'll be an inhale down and an exhale away. Let's go for another 8. 7. 6. Keep your tummy lifted. 5. Just working with your breath. It's an exhale away from the floor. 4. We've got 3 more. Last 2. Last one. We breathe in. As you breathe out, you can lengthen your arms and send your body all the way back. We'll just have a mini rest here. One breath in and out. Come back forward. So we're going to do that same movement, but let's extend your right leg straight out behind you here. Drop that right hip down, pointing or flexing your foot, up to you. I'm going to point my toes. As you inhale, I want you to drift forward exactly the same. As we exhale, we drift back exactly the same. We're just working with a little bit more of a challenging position here with that leg lifted. Let's go for 5 more. 5, squeeze the bottom on that right hand side. 4, press your fingers. Abs are drawn in. For 3. 2. 1. Let's rest that right leg down. We're going to go straight onto the left hand side. Drop that left hip. We've still got your hands pressing out against that band, so you're really working all aspects of your arm. Coming down into your core and into that leg as well. We're getting the whole body going. We've got 7. Exhale back. Tuck your chin like you're going to kiss the floor. 6. Exhale back. 5. Squeeze the bottom. 4. 3. 2. Let's go, last one. Beautiful, and we can rest that knee down, and again, send yourself back into your child's pose here. Wonderful. We're going to sit ourselves up, just sitting onto your heels, lifting your elbows so that band is still around the upper arms here. Elbows are up at shoulder height. Draw your shoulders down and back. Fingers are widespread, fingers are long. Draw your tummy in. We're going to bring your hands out, away from one another, and in just halfway. So all the way out, in halfway. All the way out, in halfway. This is number 4 of 10. 5. 6. Keep those arms nice and still in that L shape. 7. 8. 9. And 10. We can have a little bit of a rest out of those arms, rolling the shoulders down and back. Let's move that band. So you're going to take it now around the waist. Sorry, around the thighs. So just above your knees. And we'll lay ourselves down. So we're coming into our right angle position out of our legs. You want your hip to be back behind your knees. So your knees are just coming out of in front of your hips. Our feet are flexed and your shins are lined up along the front of your mat here. And taking your head down onto your bicep, we'll slide your shoulder towards your hip to give yourself space on the underside of your waist. Beautiful. Bring your belly in here. And we're just going to soften into the floor with that upper body. Good. Now we're going to be coming down through a little waterfall. So this will go quite quickly here. Take a look from your fingers to your hips. Make sure you're lined up in a nice straight line. And I want you to take your hand just behind your lower back, feeling your bottom. It should almost feel like your bum is sticking out here. We're not accentuating the sticking out, but I just want you to find that natural curve through your spine. So we don't feel like we're tucking the tailbone forward when we reach these knees forward. Let's inhale. Abs are in. As you exhale, we're going to bring that top leg up to hip height, finding the resistance against your band. As we inhale, we gently draw down till 1 centimeter above your bottom knee. So we exhale up and we inhale down. Good. Now as you're going here, you're squeezing this top side of your bottom, and we keep flexing both of our feet. This is number 5 of 10. 6, exhale up. 7, 8, 9. Our foot and our knee are traveling at that same height, but we're leading with the thigh here, so try not to lift your foot up or lead with the foot. 10. We're going to come up to your halfway and we'll be circling here. So it's a circle that's being drawn with this thigh bone. So I want you to think of the movement starting at your hip imagining you had maybe a pencil strapped to your knee. So our knee stays bent in that position. And it's our thigh that leads the movement. This is number 5 of 10 circles. Don't forget this top half of the circle. Make those circles as big as you can without losing balance on the hips. Good. 3 more. 10. Beautiful. Coming back into center. Let's lower down until a centimeter above your bottom knee and lift up. We're going for 8 this time. So that was 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling it already. 1, we're going to circle here for 8. Around and around we go. 7, 6, 5, 4, don't forget that top half of the circle, for 3, 2, 1, we're coming into those lifts again for 6, 5, it feels like you can't do more, but you can, 4, 3, draw the tummy in, 2, 1, we're going to circle here for 6, 5, keep them the same size, 4, 3, 2, 1, we've got 4 little lifts, so we lower and we lift, keep flexing that foot for 4, lift, 3, it helps to think of other things, 2, 1, holding up, we're going to go for 4 circles, last bit, 4, 3, 2, make these good, 1, hold it at the top, hold up, up, hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1, we can rest. Oh my goodness, that hurt. Have a little rub. Getting out the muscle if you need to. Let's bring ourselves up and straight on over to the other side before we can think too hard about it. So we have those feet and knees coming out from your hips, right angle out of the body. Feet are stacked one on top of the other, top foot and bottom foot are both flexed. Take a look from your fingers down to your hips. You should be in one straight line here. Draw the tummy in. We keep that natural curve through our back, so you want to have your bum slightly behind your lower back here, not like we're exaggerating, but it should almost feel like you're kind of sticking your bum out just a little bit. Let's start with those lifts. So we're going to draw up, inhale down till just before it touches the other side. Good, so remember we've still got that space underneath our waist here. Don't feel fretting if you're, don't fret if you feel your second side faster. So we've already worked that supporting leg. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to circle for 10, 9, 8, 7, slow burn, remember, 6, 5, it's that pencil on your thigh for 4, 3, 2, 1, come straight back to those lifts. So we're going straight up and down. Now if you had headlights on your hips, those headlights would be facing forward the whole time here. So we're not rolling back as we lift up. We're keeping the hips stacked, and that way you're going to feel the outside of your bum. 4 to go. 3. If your band starts to feel too much, you can take it off. 2. 1. We're going to do some circles here. How many circles is this? I think it's 8. I guess I'll see at the end. 7. 6. Now often in class what I see is people circling and they lengthen their leg as they circle back. We're not doing that. We're keeping that knee in its right angle position the whole time. You've got 3 to go. 2. 1. We're going to come into those drops. 4, 6. This is coming towards the end. 5. 4. Pull the tummy in. Keep that space under your side. 3. 2. 1. Hold it up. 4, 6. Circle here. 5. Don't forget the top of that circle. 4. Pretend you're here with me or I'm there with you. We can see each other. We know if the other person isn't doing it quite right. 3. 2. Holding up on 1. 1. Let's drop down and lift for 4. 3. Yep, that hurts. 2. We're going to hold up on 1. 1. We're circling. 4. Make them big. 3. Flex your foot. 2. 1. Holding it up at the top of your circle. Nothing moves. Squeeze your bum. Flex those feet for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We can drop that top leg down. Have a little bit of a rub. Wonderful. Bring yourself up. Band comes off of those legs. Crossing your legs here. We want your feet to be underneath your knees if possible. We're going to have a big breath in. Reaching both hands up, lengthening through the spine. As we breathe out, we'll reach ourselves forward, and I want you to press your hands into the floor so you keep your bum heavy and we feel a little bit of a stretch through our hips. 3 deep breaths here to finish. In through the nose, out through the mouth, getting heavier with each exhale. Last one. And we can just relax ourselves up. That is the end of our little circuit. I hope that you could feel those muscles as we went, and I hope you'll be feeling them tomorrow as well. Leave me a comment if you liked this, or you can send me a message on Instagram, which is down in the description bar below. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.